Hello my friends, and welcome back. Komorebi version 0.1.37 is now available for download on Winget and Scoop. And in today's video, we'll be taking a look at some of the new features you'll find when you update, including a brand new shortcuts helper, completely isolated virtual desktops, mouse wheel actions on the Komorebi bar, a brand new applications shortcut widget for the bar, cubic-bezier animation configurations, floating workspace layers with monocle mode, granular floating window placement configurations, and asynchronous window handling. If you're new here, Komorebi is a tiling window manager for Windows which is written in the Rust programming language. It's an incredibly powerful piece of software used for automatically organizing and managing your application windows. If you are already using something like Fancy Zones and you're wondering, how is Komorebi different? Well, it's a little bit like the difference between Microsoft Paint and Adobe Photoshop. It has a slight learning curve, but if you invest a little time, your workflow and productivity will improve considerably. Komorebi is free for personal use and requires an individual commercial use license to use at work, and it's used by many kinds of professionals, including, but not limited to, game developers, graphic designers, digital artists, audio and video engineers, stock traders, architects, and geographic information systems specialists. Now, if that sounds interesting to you, sit back and let's walk through some live demos together. The first thing that we're going to be taking a look at is the shortcuts helper. Now in the quick start example configuration, this is bound to Alt and I, Komorebi C toggle shortcuts. If you don't like that shortcut, you can bind it to something else, but that is the shortcut that new users will be able to toggle this with, and you can see it comes with a very useful filter row. So you can click here and you can quickly filter for all of the commands related to focusing, all of the commands related to movement, all of the commands related to stacking, all of the commands related to workspaces. It's really flexible, it's really simple, and I think that in addition to, obviously this is going to be really useful for new users who are getting used to the key bindings, it's also going to be really useful for experienced users who have customized their hotkeys and shortcuts so much that they're not able to keep them all in their heads. Sometimes you have that one shortcut that you use maybe like once a week, once every 2 weeks, and you can't quite remember it, and you're messing around, you're thinking, is it this combination, is it that combination? Now you can just get this up really quickly with toggle shortcuts. You can type in your filter, you'll have the hotkey in front of you, the key combination in front of you, and you can be on your way. Nice and easy. I really hope that everybody will find a use for this. The next thing that we're going to take a look at is how isolation between virtual desktops has been improved when Komorebi is running. Right now we are on Windows Virtual Desktop number 1. This is the virtual desktop that Komorebi is bound to. So even when I'm switching between workspaces in Komorebi, we remain on Windows Virtual Desktop 1. Now I'm going to press Control, Windows, and Right, and that brings me over to Virtual Desktop 2. And as you can see, the Komorebi bar has disappeared. The Komorebi managed windows are not here anymore, and all of the borders have disappeared as well. If I want to open up a window on this virtual workspace number 2, it's just going to behave like stock Windows 11, right? I can use Windows and left to snap to the left, right to snap to the right, up, down. It works as Windows works outside of the box. So, sometimes you need to get a little bit silly. You need to do whatever you need to do. You can do that on a separate virtual desktop without worrying about how do I use this, whatever I want to do within the context of Komorebi. You have a nice little escape hatch, which can be really, really useful if you're just starting to get familiar with the software. And then when you're ready to get back down to business, you can go back to Virtual Workspace 1, which is where I keep Komorebi, and everything will be back. You'll have your workspaces back, you'll have your windows managed. I think that this is a really, really nice touch. Let me know what you think about this in the comments. Next up, we are moving our attention to the Komorebi bar, and this is actually a first-time contribution to the project from user JustForFun88, who has added an applications widget for launching configurable app shortcuts. It is very, very cool, and you can see I actually have this enabled up here, and the configuration is pretty simple. You know, you have an applications widget. Here I have it in the center widget section. You can enable it. You can add a bunch of applications. You can set custom icons. So why don't we just take a quick look at how I have mine set up. Here we go. Maybe I can make this, a little bit bigger. And so my center widgets look like this. I have show command on hover true, which means that when I hover here, it's going to show which command will be launched. Very useful. And you can specify items here using an executable that's in the path. You can give an absolute path like we do here for Zen. We can give paths that use environment variables like we have here for Z, and we can also we can use these LNK shortcut files. So it's really flexible. It does a pretty good job of picking up the right icons. Here you can see I've not set any icons explicitly. This is really, really cool. I think that, like, if you're interested in developing like something for Komorebi or for the Komorebi bar, you should definitely check out this pull request and read the comments and the backwards and forwards for an idea of what a first-time contribution to Komorebi looks like. You can see I get pretty involved. I give feedback, I give direction, I give suggestions on how to change the code. So if you are interested in getting a little bit of mentoring to make a first-time contribution, do not be shy. I am here to help. Others are also here to help. And of course, I hope that you will enjoy this brilliant new feature. If you do, please make sure to say thank you to JustForFun88, who you can also now find on the Discord. On the topic of the Komorebi bar, CTByte is back once again with another excellent addition. It is now possible to set custom commands on different mouse events when you're interacting with the bar. You can see here there's a whole bunch of examples, but the ones that I'm going to demo, the ones that I really like, are these two. So creating a new workspace on secondary click and closing a workspace on middle click. So all I have to do is hover over the bar. I'm going to right click, and you can see a brand new workspace 5 has been added. I still have all of my other workspaces, and then when I'm ready to get rid of this one, I can middle click, and you can see that it has gone back to the workspace before that, which is floating. So when I'm ready, I just go back to whichever workspace I want. It's really nice. It's a really quick way to add and remove workspaces, and it has the added benefit, let's say, of being able to free up some of your keybinds, right? Because right now I don't have to have an additional keybind for closed workspace or new workspace anymore. I think this is really cool. I think that there are so many uses for this, especially with the mouse wheel scrolling as well. Check this out. Let us know what you think. If you like this, make sure you say thank you to CT Byte on Discord. Moving on from the komorebi bar, we come to the animations feature, and once again, the Arturka has come out of nowhere with this amazing PR to add the ability to customize the smoothness of the animations using these cubic-bezier values. Now, I'll be honest, I don't really understand anything about this, right? I'm perfectly happy with the 30 preset default animation styles that he added last time. But if you're coming from Hyperland, or if you're coming from another tiling window manager or compositor which uses this format to set animation styles, I guess, you can tell I have no idea what this is. But if you're somebody who has been waiting for the ability to set animation cubic-bezier values, this is for you. Like I say, I have no idea what to do with this, but I'm sure that many of you will come up with beautiful, beautiful animations using this new way to customize the smoothness of the animations. So if you do come up with something beautiful, make sure to submit it to RiceRiceBaby and drop the config in there as well, so that I can try it and test it out, and so that everybody can try it and test it out. And of course, please say thank you to the Arturka if you see him in the Discord. Not around so much these days, but every now and then he comes back around. And honestly, from me, thank you so much. Thank you so much for all of the work that you have done on animations. This next feature is really simple, but incredibly powerful. I know a lot of you have really enjoyed working with the new floating workspace layer that was introduced a couple of versions ago, but some of you noted that it was not possible to bring floating workspace layers on top of a monocle container. So right now, I have a monocle container. I'm going to bring the floating workspace layer to the top, and now it works. How cool is that? It's a really nice little scratch pad like experience. I'm using it now as a scratch pad. I really like this, and thank you to AlexDS13 for just doing some magic and making this happen. It's it's great. For a moment there, I thought that maybe we should stick with this idea that nothing should come on top of a monocle container. The monocle container should always be the top of a hierarchy. But now that I've had some experience being able to toggle the floating workspace layer on top, I'm a convert. I am sold on this workflow. So check it out. I hope that you'll like it. I hope that it will help you as much as it is helping me. The last two updates that we're going to look at, if I'm being honest, are incredibly niche. So the first one is all about what happens to floating windows in different situations. There are some people who would like to specify different behavior when toggle float is used, when the floating workspace layer is enabled, when a float override is active, and when a window matches a floating application rule. If this is not something that you have ever thought about, you're probably a lot like me. But there were some users who thought a lot about this, and Alex took up this cause. Once again, Alex to the rescue. And so now it's possible to set 3 different kinds of behaviors in each of these scenarios. So you can set, for placement, you can set none. which means that windows are spawned wherever Windows positions them with whatever size they had. Komorebi does not change its size or position. We have also the center option, where windows are centered without changing their size. And finally, we have the center and resize option, where windows are centered and resized according to the aspect ratio configuration. And the defaults have not changed, so we've actually codified the defaults the way that Komorebi worked until now. So all in all, a very... what's the word I want to use? It's an update with a lot of attention to detail. So if you are somebody whose workflow is made or broken with this sort of granularity, let me know how this is working out for you. I personally, I would not have worked on this. Like I said, Alex, you know what, Alex is always coming to the rescue for a lot of these edge cases. And it's great to have people who care so much about different things. Like, I've implemented so much in Komorebi just because I was like, okay, I really care about this one specific thing and I want it to be this one specific way. And there's a lot of that stuff that you don't find in other tiling window managers, right? And in a way, I feel very happy that in the context of Komorebi, other people feel empowered to bring that kind of mindset, you know, to different parts of the code base where, you know, I'm not necessarily thinking like that in that area, but somebody else is like, hey, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna dig deep, and I am gonna build a beautiful solution that works for people who have these sorts of needs. So once again, thank you, Alex, #1 contributor. Thank you so much. And everybody else, please make sure to thank Alex when you see Alex on the Discord. The last update that we are going to look at today is a first-time contribution from the user Kukunen. So Kukunen noticed that if an application itself is hanging, that means that it's not going to respond to Komorebi's instructions to move here, to snap there, to resize like this or like that, until it has stopped hanging. And I've never actually had any issues like this. I guess I'm very discerning in the kinds of programs that I have a tolerance for, but you end up with a situation where Komorebi has this kind of backlog because you have this one window that, you know, it's not saying, okay, I have moved to this new position that the window manager has told me to, and then all of the other window instructions also get backed up. With this change, all of those instructions that Komorebi sends to different windows about how they should position themselves, what their sizes should be, all of those commands can be asynchronous, which means that even if like a heavy application is hanging, all of the other applications can do their updates, right? And they're not stuck behind this one hanging application. So you can turn this on now by adding the window handling behavior option at the top level of your config and setting that to async. This is set to sync by default. I have been running this in async mode pretty much since it got merged a couple of weeks ago. I'm very happy with it. I encourage you to try it out. I have not noticed anything but good things. I have not noticed anything but good things. So if you are somebody who uses big heavy applications that can hang from time to time, and you've noticed this kind of behavior that Kukunen noticed, let me know. Let me know. Has this improved the handling for you? And if it has, please do make sure to say thank you to Kukunen when you see them on the Discord. I really hope you'll enjoy using this new version of Komorebi. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a comment, hit like, and of course subscribe to the channel. If you're using komorebi for personal use, please make a donation to the Palestine Children's Relief Fund, who are doing their best to help children like Rahaf, who this release is named for. If you share your donation amount with me, I will do my best to match it. If you're interested in using komorebi at work, head over to the licensing page to purchase an individual commercial use license. When you purchase a license, make sure that you get the cost reimbursed by your employer. The individual commercial use license functions as a mechanism to empower end users to mediate corporate contributions to the financial sustainability of independent software. As we wrap up this video, I want to give a very special thank you to all of the sponsors of this project. And to remind you that we now have different sponsorship perks available, which include the ability to submit feature requests on GitHub, special roles and secret channels on the Discord server, and limited edition physical media releases of komorebi on floppy disk with bonus Easter eggs. My friends, I hope that whatever you all do today, you have a great, great day. Free Palestine, and I'll see you all back here next time.